All right, boys. We are just 2.5 hours away from the start of the regular season for the 2019 NFL year. I'm excited. We should all be excited. It's going to be a fun season, going to be a fun game tonight. We're going to get to watch two NFC rivals, and then it's just a couple days until the season kicks off for these guys. So before we get started tonight, before the actual season starts, I'll go ahead and make a schedule prediction for the year, and we'll see how things come out at the end. So let's go ahead and run down this schedule. I'm going to give my win or loss prediction for each game, and we'll see how things look at the end. All right, week one, we host the Cincinnati Bengals. That's got to be a win. We don't win that game, things could get ugly really fast. It's as close to a must win as you can have for a week one game. Home opener against a team that's probably going to be one of the worst in the league. We don't win this game, it's time to start rethinking everything very quickly. Week two, we go to Pittsburgh. I really wish we played the Steelers in like week 10 or week 12 or something because to me, I'm looking for signs of, regression from them for sure because they lost Antonio Brown, the best receiver in football, and a couple years ago they lost Le'Veon Bell, and Roethlisberger is getting older and older, and he's obviously taken a beating over the years. So I am wondering if that Steelers offense could really fall off this year. So I think we will have the opportunity to win what could be a low scoring game. I would feel a lot better about this game if it wasn't for our front line on defense having so many issues going into this game. Clowney's only been with the team for 2 weeks at this point. Reed won't be back. Collier won't be back. Anza just got back on the field a few days ago. So I say this is a loss in Pittsburgh. We fly across the country. I think there will be opportunities to win this game, but I think this is a loss. Week three, we host the Saints. Saints obviously were a really good team last year. They should have gone to the Super Bowl. They maybe should have won the Super Bowl. I think we'll win. I think it's a home game. I think this is the kind of game that the team will get up for, but it's going to be very tough. The Saints built a pretty good defense last year on top of their offense, but like the Steelers, this is another team I have my eye on because their quarterback is getting so old. Breeze is, I think, pushing 40 now, so he can't do this forever. And the drop off could come at any time. Could be this year. And if it does hit hard, then that'll be a window for us to take it to them because their defense is not that good. Week four, we go to Arizona. I think that's a win. I don't believe in the Cardinals for this year with Kingsbury and Kyler Murray. But in the future, I could see it, but I don't see it right now. I think that's a win. Thursday night football in week five, we host the Rams. I'm going to say we break the streak. I'm going to say we get it done. I'm going to say we get that win. And I don't like this matchup for us. There are a lot of things the Rams do that I think we struggle to keep up with. But what I like about this is that it's a home game on primetime football. So hopefully we can play that to our advantage. And it's at home. And I think we get the win here. Uh, week six in Cleveland. I have no idea what Cleveland's going to be this year. I see why they're hyped. I see the excitement. I see the talent. I also see, they hired this head coach that I don't really believe in, Freddie Kitchens. I I'm going to put that down as a win for now. I think that there are some things about that team that are overhyped. Not so much with the players, although Odell Beckham's already having injury problems, so that's not good. But I don't like the way they went about their coaching search and just gave it to a guy who was on their staff, Freddie Kitchens. If you look at the recent history of teams that have promoted coordinators from in-house to replace a recently fired coach, it's bad. It's like Romeo Crennel and like Romeo Crennel was like the best of this millennium in terms of in-house coordinators that got promoted to head coach. Week 7, we host the Ravens. That's a win, I think. I don't believe in the Lamar Jackson crap. I just think that there is, until I see better, there's a strong ceiling on top of what an offense with Lamar Jackson can do, and he's got to prove to me otherwise. And until he does, I'm going to say we win that game. Going to be interesting, though, with Ed Reed coming back into town. Week 8 at Atlanta. I think this is a loss. I think Atlanta's going to have a bounce back year. I like their offense. I really like their offense in their home stadium. I think they can just turn games into a track meet. And I don't know if our secondary is going to be ready to keep up with, Julio Jones and Calvin Ridley. And I think that offense is going to be good. But I will say this is another regression candidate at quarterback. Matt Ryan, last year, he showed a couple of troubling signs early in the year, and then he kind of righted the ship. Let's see what Matt Ryan does this season as he starts to. He's not old yet, but he's certainly not young. Week 9, we host the Buccaneers. I feel pretty good about this one. This should be a win. I don't see a ton going on with that Tampa team. This is a home game. I think, Winston. I don't know if this statistic is accurate, but I think he averages more than one turnover a quarter played. Like over his career, he has more than one turnover per quarter played, which seems freaking impossible, but I saw a stat that indicated it was true. I think he'll be gone by the end of this season, and they have good talent on that offense. I love Mike Evans, so if he figures it out, it's a little scary, but I feel good about this one. At 49ers in week 10, I'm not. I like the 49ers coaching staff. I just don't think very much of their players. So I'm going to go ahead and say this is a win going into the bye week. And that puts us in a pretty strong position of, I think, being like, what are we at this point? I think we're like 8-2. So I have us getting off to a pretty good start. All right, so we come out of the bye week. It's a good time for a bye week, by the way, because things get ugly after. Next game we play in Philadelphia. This is another primetime game. I really like the Eagles this year. I think the Eagles are undervalued. I think the Eagles are going to have a better season than people expect. I love the season that I think Wentz is going to have. I love their running back by committee. I love their defense. I think this is a loss. I think Philadelphia's at home is going to be a little too tough, and I think they're going to get it. Next week, week 13, we have another primetime game, another ESPN game against the Vikings at home. I think that's a win. You can never really go too wrong betting on the Seahawks to take care of business at home. And the Vikings, they will probably be better than they were last year. I don't know if they did enough to address their offensive line problems, but they should at least be better. So I mean, we'll know more by then for sure, but as of right now, I think that's a win. Week 14, we go to Los Angeles to play the Rams. I think that's a loss. I know, Seahawks fans are all excited about how shaky Jared Goff has looked. Now the Rams have locked themselves into Jared Goff for the next, like, 5 years or something, but, that coaching staff, as long as they have Sean McVay, and, I would throw Wade Phillips in there as well, they're going to be a problem. So I'm going to say we go into LA, take the loss. That's another NBC game, actually. So another primetime game. Week 15, we go to Carolina to play the Panthers. I have serious questions about what the Panthers are going to look like this late in the season because Cam Newton's arm, I think, is kind of shot. And to me, I was surprised that he didn't just wash this season and just sit it out to let his arm heal like Andrew Luck did a few years ago. So by week 15, I'm wondering if Cam Newton's arm is just going to be, firing duds. So that kind of makes me feel like, this can be a win, but everything else about that Carolina team, I like. I like their defense. I like, obviously Christian McCaffrey. Um, I mean, this is going to be a really tough game. We're traveling across the country playing in that 10 a.m. time slot. I think this is going to be a loss for now, but if Cam Newton isn't even playing by then, obviously that changes everything. So that's going to be a wait and see game for me. And then we finish up the season at home against the Cardinals, at home against the 49ers. Those had both better be wins, or else we have way bigger problems. So I have us finishing at 11-5. I have us going 5-1 in the division. I have us going, I think, 3-1 in the AFC, which means our conference record will be 8-4, I think, if I'm doing that right. Yeah, 8-4. So that puts us in pretty good position to maybe compete for the division, but it is almost certainly good enough to get us a wild card if that doesn't pan out. And that is my prediction as of right now. So I think we're going to have a pretty good season. I really wish we were playing the Steelers and Saints in like the middle of the season when Clowney and Anza and Collier are good to go, because if we can't rush the passer against those teams, then those old quarterbacks are going to look perfectly fine against us. We got to get after the quarterback. And I think by the end of the year, we will be doing that in spades. I just don't know if it's going to happen right out of the gate. But yeah, 11-5. I haven't looked at the Rams schedule. I don't know if it's going to be good enough for the division, but I think it's going to be good enough for a playoff spot, and then we go from there. Games that I'm willing to flip on. I think that the win I'm most shaky on is probably in Cleveland, just because I think Cleveland's potential could be, if they reach their potential, that's a very tough win to get in Cleveland. And the loss that I'm most shaky on would be the Carolina game, because I don't trust Cam Newton this year. But however you want to slice it, 11 wins. That's what I'm feeling right now. Let me know how you guys think. I'm going to just leave it at that for now. I do believe the ceiling on this team is higher. I believe that this team has a very high ceiling because of what they could be in terms of their pass rush, but until they get there, I'm not going to give them that. They got to prove it on the field. All right, gonna get ready for football in about 2 hours here. Gonna be a fun season. Everybody gear up. See y'all before the Sunday game.